Call to order the meeting of the Plymouth Community School Board. If you'll join in the pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our purpose this evening is a budget workshop, so I will turn it over to you.
All right, so might as well get right into it for purposes of getting it over quickly. Form 2 is a required form, and it is the estimate of miscellaneous revenues, and it is by fund. And the first column is what we expect to receive the last 6 months of this calendar year, and the column on the far right is what we expect to receive all of calendar year 2017. That's the rainy day fund. This is the general fund. This is the debt service fund, the pension debt, capital projects, transportation, and bus replacement. Then, once we estimate what our revenue is, then I can start working on our estimated expenses. Again, gateway forms, this is the rainy day fund. And then the general fund. It's rather long. As you can tell, if you want me to stop, I can pause to say budget amounts if you'd like. And again, it's in categories: support services, instruction. So estimated $25,224,072 for general fund. And then budget estimate for debt service is $4,936,571.
Can you go back a page? Thank you.
Is that all right? Pension debt, $296,746. Capital projects. Now you notice on here, we had to put, as part of our expenses this year, the property tax caps. Now, this is my estimation of what they will be, not what DLGF proposed. And I called DLGF, and I called a financial person from your office, Pusha, and asked what all the other schools are doing, because the DLGF explained to me they're estimating it way, way, way safe. And they're assuming no one has any cash balances in their debt services. And so it came back extremely high. So last year, our tax cap impact was about $290,500.
How much?
$651. They estimated this year's to be 1.4 million.
Pretty helpful.
Was not helpful at all. So I just took last year's tax caps and added 15%. That was what was recommended.
So that
Yes.
this
So
is,
that increases our expenditures.
I'm sorry?
It shows like we're spending that money, and we're not. We never get that money. But this is how they told us we had to put it on the forms this year. Doesn't make sense.
So the 215 is the CPF's percentage of the total.
Mhm.
And the other pieces are going to,
The transportation
Transportation,
and bus
that's-
replacement. Correct. So CPF total is $3,362,982. And then bus replacement, not bus replacement, sorry, transportation is 1.408836. And then bus replacement is $375,028. Okay? Then with all that information, it goes into this format. This is basically, again, the expenditures, and it's just by program. It's just broken down by program, each fund. Do you need me to scroll through this? No? Yes or no? I can.
No, I
We haven't.
Yeah, we have.
And then these are my estimated, this is the current year financial worksheet, sorry. Oops. And this is a formula they have you plug in for each fund. You put in this year's approved budget, any encumbrances we brought forward from last year, changes to appropriations. Now, these are additions due to insurance adjustments that we have come in, and we can increase our appropriation with that legally. And then our disbursements so far for the year is right there. Oops, it keeps scrolling on me, sorry about that. Is right there, is what we spent. This is what's remaining of the appropriation that they assume we will spend. And then that was our cash balance on June 30.
And this is a calendar year, right? Not school.
Yes, yes, calendar year. Okay, and that's that way for each fund. The same formula follows each fund. And then all that information fills into Form 4B, and one for each fund. And we have a net assessed value of $755,157,473. It is about 90% of last year's, which was $839 million assessed value. And that is what DLGF recommended we use. Is this number? To get our rates. This is where it'll figure our rates. And then all of that information gets onto this form, which is what they consider the ordinance form. This is something that will be signed by all of you at a later meeting. But this is what it looks like. And then this is the notice we put in the paper. This is what will be put in the paper, not the paper, I'm sorry. This will be a notice to taxpayers later, after adoption for CPF. And then this is notice to taxpayers that will happen later on, 10 days before the budget hearing for bus replacement. And then, sorry, this is the notice that will go out. This will be on Gateway. We no longer have to put this form in the newspaper, just the other two, and then this one just gets uploaded in Gateway. And it has to be 10 days before the hearing. These are just the debt service and pension plan. These are the worksheets worksheets that come from Gateway for each of the funds. And this again is how I have done comparisons before for each fund every year to show what we requested and then what gets approved and the differences, if there are any, by fund. And then here's a rate and a levy comparison by fund each year. It's hard to read up there, so. And then I did it in charts, so it might be a little easier to look at for each fund. Here's a levy. And tax revenue comparisons, where we get most of our money from by fund. And then here is how the net assessed values have gone up and down, and how they trend. These are what I estimate for cash flow worksheets by fund, and where I envision us to be by the end of this calendar year. Just estimating the last few months. And then just so you can see, like to look, these are required forms for CPF. And then by building. And I don't need to go through all of them. And then the school bus replacement plan, 12-year plan. And that's actually it, the paperwork that I have. Anything you want to review more or ask questions about?
Looking at those numbers, what is the estimated shortfall that we're looking at? It appears that there is one.
You mean because of the tax caps?
What was the question?
What was the estimated shortfall from the state based on looking at those numbers?
What the state estimated?
Yeah.
They estimated 1.4 million.
Less?
Yeah. It's not anywhere near that. There were lots of, they were getting tons of phone calls.
I think Larry's asking a
Oh,
different
how much
question.
do we think?
Are you talking about state funding?
Yeah.
Oh, state funding?
Yeah.
I estimated that at, we're getting at like 108,000 less than.
What we got last year.
Mhm. Right now. Yeah.
I don't know how they expect these public schools to continue to survive and move ahead when they keep taking away money. Evidently, there needs to be a change in the legislature and the governor's office. And look at public education.
Well, they did a double whammy. They changed how they did general and shortage it. And then they changed how the taxes are, you know, tax caps came into effect. So it's kind of like a double.
And you work so hard to stay afloat and keep a good situation going, pay your teachers and everybody else, and then you keep taking away money. I don't understand how they expect you to do all that stuff. I don't understand.
For the, we're at 90% on AV, that's what our assumption is for advertising. Have we, or has the county provided any estimate of the impact of the change in farm ground assessment? Have not?
No. They were supposed to by August 1st, and they said, sorry, we won't have it done. They're not penalized for it. I mean, the assessor said they wouldn't have it done to the auditor's office. One's waiting on the other, and they said they're sorry, but they probably, maybe will have us the information by late August. Think I should go
That's not
less?
gonna do us any favors either.
No, no. This was the first year I actually received estimates on FIT, excise, and, oh, the other thing that's changing is PTRC, local option tax. We will not be getting that monthly. We now had to create a new revenue account, Revenue 1130, and that's gonna be called LIT, and we will get that monthly, and that goes into the tax funds then, instead of the PTRC. I don't know if it's because the state's handling it versus county.
I'm sorry?
They weren't real clear on if the state was gonna funnel that money out instead of the counties, or why the change.
The local income tax?
Yeah, why was,
Oh, well, our statewide, our local income tax structure is totally different for 1117. So
okay.
it'll still come through the county, but it has a different name and different structure.
Okay.
What do you think in the farm ground assessment?
Going down.
You think it's, so you think we're gonna get less then?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, what do you mean we're gonna get less?
Well, less, it's, if the assessed value goes down, then the tax for them is less, correct? Or will the tax rate, we don't know what the tax rate's gonna be.
Well, I mean, we will levy a certain dollar amount.
Right.
So if farm ground in total pays less, then somebody else is gonna pay more. So it's a shift of property tax from farm ground to other taxpayers. But it comes at a higher rate. So that also means our circuit breaker will go up. So that's how we get less money. Questions? Any other questions for the board?
Ken, you did a good job, I just don't like the numbers.
What would you rather it be? You want to change them?
Let's.
I wish I had the authority to do it.
I mean, you have more insight on some of this stuff. Are you comfortable with those numbers, Todd? I tried to do my research, so.
I'm halfway tempted to suggest that we use a lower 80 number just to be safe.
Okay, now we go down to 85%.
I would.
Okay, so,
I'm sorry?
I need to change all of those. That's it? I can do that.
Yeah.
I'll put.
I mean, what it does is show a higher rate in the paper that people can get excited about. It's not realistic, hopefully. But I don't know what the impact of the farm ground change is for us.
Should I go like 85% of last year's 80?
That's what I would recommend.
Okay. So-
90 probably is okay, but if you go back to the chart, I mean, we've seen
Mhm.
just even without a change in legislation, we've seen that AV number jump around. It doesn't hurt us to advertise a higher rate other than perception. But if we don't go at that conservatively and AV comes in as a big surprise, then we're stuck.
Okay.
So if you're okay with that, I mean, that's what I would recommend.
That's fine.
So we need a motion to advertise then?
Advertise as,
Just change the AV using 85%.
then I can send you that Form 3 that shows.
I mean, I know I should have probably called you earlier, but it's just, I'd feel more comfortable with that.
That's fine. Like you said, I was just leery about advertising going that high, but if it'll keep us safe, that's fine.
Second.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
And then from here, we'll have our hearing on September 6th.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you,
That's our-
Candy.
I'm sorry?
I said thank you, Candy.
Yep.
That is
She
the,
worked awfully hard because the company came in late.
yeah.
She's been here a lot of evenings.
4:30 in the morning, it's quiet.
Crazy.
Is that why you live across the street?
Yeah, so it was much easier to get here.
That is our agenda. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.